Okay. Good morning, everyone. I guess it's time to start our workshop. Good morning, and thank you so much for being here. As always, a brief introduction about, PACE, and then we will have our workshop. So my name is Vartuyan Vesyan, and I am a business counseling manager at PACE, Business Development Center. So PACE, as most of you may know, we are a nonprofit community organization, and we are celebrating our 50 years of service this year. We have many different programs in our organization. It includes early childhood education, workforce development, energy efficiency, business development, housing, and some more. Through our Business Development Center, we support entrepreneurs like in Southern California by offering business counseling, procurement services, and access to capital. PACE operates 2 of 10 BusinessSource Centers in the city of Los Angeles, which is Pico-Union Westlake and Hollywood Center, which I manage. We are an SBA micro lender, EDA and iBank lender, as well as a certified CDFI. I just want to share some additional information for those businesses who have been suffered due to immigration enforcement during month of June. There is a grant available by LA County. I will share the link in the chat room later. Please feel free, if you are eligible, please feel free to go and apply. You have time up to the end of October. Also, SBA also introduced an economic injury disaster loan for the same reason. So again, that is up to March, mid of March. So if you feel you are eligible, you suffered, business loss, employee loss because of that reason, go ahead and apply for that grant or like EIDL loan. And if you need any assistance, please feel free to connect with us. We will help you with the process. So for today's session, I am delighted to welcome Jordan Banafshah. He is the founder and CEO of Ice Pop Incorporation, a Los Angeles-based marketing agency. I will let Jordan introduce himself and talk more about his background. I don't want to do it here. So just a quick note, this is the first session in our 4-part workshop series. So we will continue over the next 4 weeks. I hope to see all of you in the next week's session at the same time. So as always, we will have a wrap up, we will wrap up our session with a Q&A session. And at the end, feel free to drop your question in the chat box or using Q&A box. I will monitor the questions. We will have pauses during the session. We will address the questions. And at the end, if you want to ask any question, we will, you can unmute yourself and you can ask your questions. But during the session, we will address the questions as well. So with that, I want to turn it over to Jordan to introduce himself and kick off the workshop. Once again, thank you, everyone. And thank you, Jordan, so much for volunteering to do this. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's really exciting to be here with PACE LA and everyone who joined the call. Thanks for being here. I'm going to share my screen and see if and let me open up the chat in case anything pops up here. Okay, great. So today's session, and the whole series that we're doing, which we mentioned is a 4-part series over the next 4 weeks, is getting ready from a marketing perspective. There's a lot of things going on in Q4 for some companies that are going to be running Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales in the next few weeks or month. It'd be super helpful, but marketing principles apply regardless. And our focus is going to be this week's session on running ads on Facebook and Instagram. And how can we leverage AI to create ads faster, cheaper, and better than before? I know a lot of businesses have a hard time running ads because they don't have great content, and AI has really changed the game. And so I'm hoping to share some ideas with you guys that can help you, create better ads. So a little bit about me, just to get started. I am born and raised in Los Angeles, so it's really exciting to be here. I went to USC, just down the street, worked for a bunch of companies that were based in Los Angeles, one of the bigger ones being Tinder and West Hollywood. And my company, which I started about almost 6 years ago, is called Ice Pop. And we help a lot of businesses with marketing. And just to give you guys an example of some of the work we do, these are some of the ads that we created for Facebook and Instagram last year. And these are some of the websites we designed last year. And so I'm going to show you how we do some of this work so you guys can do it on your own, even without an agency like ours. So to get started, what we're talking about is user acquisition, getting new customers. And before we just dive into Facebook and Instagram, just to take a step back and think about marketing as a whole, um, what I would say is that the most fundamental channels when you're starting a business usually are Google ads, ads on, Meta, like Facebook and Instagram, and then SEO, which is organic Google. And the way that I kind of think about it is you generally want to try for most businesses all three of these, but they each have different timelines and expectations. And before we jump into what Facebook and Instagram does, I think you guys should think about this, more broadly. So Google Ads, the results tend to be very immediate because someone is searching for something on their phone, on their computer. They're looking for a service provider. They're looking for a product. They're in the mindset usually to make a purchase. So the intent is very high and the results tend to be a lot faster. Running ads on Meta, those tend to be a little bit more medium term in terms of getting results because you can't target people by searches on Facebook and Instagram like the way you can on Google. On Facebook and Instagram, you're targeting people based off demographics, based off interests. And so you're almost convincing someone to purchase something, even though they weren't necessarily looking for it like the way they are on Google Ads. And then last but not least here is this term that everyone's heard of, SEO. This stands for organic Google. So instead of paying to be on the top of Google and paying per click or paying per call, organic Google is talking about how do you show up in the top 10 results or the top 15 results of Google organically without having to pay for it. And that tends to be a longer process to rank on Google. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes months and months and a lot of content. But again, the intent is very high, but the results are a little bit more longer term. And so when you're thinking about your marketing, I think it makes sense to have things that happen immediately, things that are a little more medium term, and then things that are a little bit longer term. Today, we're going to zone in on the topic number 2, which is Facebook and Instagram ads. But other sessions we have over the next month, we'll talk about Google ads and SEO as well. So when we talk about Facebook and Instagram ads, that is under the bucket that a lot of people call paid social advertising. The reason why it's called paid social advertising is because it's a social media platform, right? Like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. And we're doing the paid part of it, right? Not the organic part. And we're advertising to people. And at a very, very high level, there are 2 types of people that you are targeting with paid social ads. There are what we would say are acquisition ads, which we are targeting brand new people that have never been to your website, that have never been to your business, that have never been to your social media. We're acquiring brand new people. And then there's also retargeting ads, which you can target people who have been to your Instagram, who have been to your website. Maybe they haven't made a purchase yet. And maybe you got their email, or maybe you got them to like your page. You can target those people to bring them back and get them to convert to whatever business goal you have. So when we think about building ads on paid social platforms, there are usually at a high level 4 kinds of audiences we want to target. So like we mentioned, the acquisition ads, those are people we want to go after who are brand new, and we call those cold audiences. They haven't been warmed up yet. They don't know about our business. They're completely cold and foreign to our business. So when you're building Facebook ads and Instagram ads, you can target a lot of different ideas. You can target, for example, people who like the Los Angeles Lakers because we're in LA. You could target just men, just women. You could target people of a certain age group. You can target people who are in the top 15% of household income. You can target people who have traveled a lot frequently. Meta has a lot of interesting data there, and you guys can target people who you think are the best for your business. Then we can target people who have interacted with their social media. So you can create another audience that says, hey, these are people who've been to my Instagram, these are people who've been to my Facebook, but they've never been to my website before. And you can show them messaging and target them separately with a separate budget. And then you can target people who've been to your website, or maybe people you have their email addresses because they come into your business and you upload those email addresses to Facebook. And then last but not least, you can also target past customers, maybe people who've made purchases on your website or people who made purchases in your business. And each one of these kinds of audiences, we create them separately so we can target them separately. And if you see how this is a backwards triangle, that's because the number of people that you're targeting gets smaller and smaller as you go down this funnel. So people who don't know about your business, there's a ton of those people, brand new people. Then there's less people who've been to your Instagram, less people who've been to your website, and less people who've bought from your business. And when we think about how much budget do we put behind each of these groups, 75 to 80% of your budget is going to go towards the cold audiences because you want to find new customers. You don't want to just advertise to your current customers. And then between targeting people who've been to your website, Instagram, and your past customers, that's somewhere in the ballpark of 20 to 25% of your budget. So if you're spending $100 a day, maybe $80 a day goes towards cold audiences, and then $20 a day goes towards retargeting people who've interacted with your business in some capacity. So again, the topic of this is really learning how do we leverage AI when we're doing advertising, because Meta and all these other companies have built a lot of AI tools to help small businesses start to advertise faster, easier, cheaper than ever, which is really exciting. And when you're creating your ads in Facebook and Instagram, you will see that there's this new campaign type, which says Advantage Plus campaigns. Whenever you see the word Advantage Plus in Facebook and Instagram, that means that AI is being used. Whereas up until like a year ago, we didn't have this. We only had manual sales campaigns where we had to define everything ourselves. But if you guys don't have a lot of bandwidth, a lot of time, you want to move very quickly, you can just click on Advantage Plus campaigns, and it's a much more simplified setup. Facebook and Instagram help you figure out the targeting a lot more, and a lot of the testing is a lot more automated. And if I was a brand new business and I didn't have a lot of stuff, I would take advantage of this AI-based campaign because it'll help you speed things up a lot faster than doing everything manually, like the way I described originally. So we talked a little bit about the audiences, we talked a little bit about the campaign. Now we need to think about what kinds of ads do people want to see, which kind of ads convert. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take you through the different buckets of ads that we usually create for our clients. And then I'm going to show you how you guys can do this with AI if you don't have the images, if you don't have the videos to do this, you can use the AI piece. So the first kind of ad that you will tend to see a lot of on Facebook and Instagram, and that does really well, is what we call aspirational creative. So if you look at the second image here, that's from Alo Yoga. What they're doing here is almost like selling you on like a lifestyle or a dream. If you buy their apparel, you'll be doing yoga by the beach. It looks amazing. Who wouldn't be excited about that prospect? So you're kind of selling someone on like the dream of what happens when you purchase your product or your service. It's like the best case scenario. And I think as business owners, we all know, what we want our customers to feel like and look like. So this is kind of a very simple ad to kind of design. Some more examples here. If you buy our suit, just don't show the suit on the rack. Show how great the person will look. If they're wearing your product. The next kind of ad, which is probably a little bit easier to pull off, is a product shot, which is actually just showing the product in a very simple and easy way. But we tend to like the product shots that are a little bit more stylized. So the second ad here you'll see that we're selling a hand wash. We put a couple oranges next to it. We put an orange popsicle next to it. So the user can almost imagine what this hand wash is going to smell like, even without ever seeing it in person. So if you're going to do product shots, try to put it in the environment the product is going to be used in. Try to evoke the idea of the scent or the experience the person's going to have. And those tend to do really well as well. The next kind of ad creative that works really well is what we call UGC style creative. UGC stands for user generated content. And the idea here is that these are not super professional videos and images taken on an expensive camera. These are things that are shot on an iPhone, right? So maybe it's a selfie video that your customers have taken. Maybe it's a selfie video from the founder. The second ad here is the founder and her daughter talking about their skincare brand. Sometimes it's paid actors and actresses that you just pay a little bit of money. Sometimes it's influencers. But these tend to do very well on paid social platforms like Facebook and Instagram. And they're very cheap to produce and they're very engaging and kind of build trust with people. The third kind of ad, or actually this might be the fourth, is educational creative. So if you're selling something that requires a little bit more thought and a little bit more of like a purchasing, like it takes longer to make a purchase decision because it requires some research, help people understand what's in the product. So for example, with a supplement like Ritual, they call out all the ingredients and why it's healthy for you. There's nothing bad in it for you. And you can do this for any kind of business. You can call out the process and educate customers so they don't have to do the research themselves. You're kind of giving them that research in the ad itself. The next kind of ad is what we kind of bucket as press ads. The idea here is if you've been featured in press, if you've been featured by a third party, you can kind of use the fact that they featured you as a way to build trust with brand new people. So for example, in the second ad here, you'll see the Forbes logo. A lot more people know about Forbes than they know about this skincare brand. And so by saying that they've been featured there, it builds trust with people and they know, okay, this isn't just some random company. Other people have reviewed it. Other people have, thought about this company. And so it helps people build a little bit of trust with brand new people. And there's a lot of different ways to do this. You can do this with being featured by, Pace LA, for example. They're very well known in LA, or any kind of organization that's featured you. Hi, Emily, I saw your question. Yeah, we will try to share the slides after the fact. Another piece I wanted to call out because I knew we'd be talking to local businesses is, if you have a local business and you want to drive people to your store instead of just your online business, you can drive people to a page with all your different locations so they can find out where is the nearest location to them. So for example, Coffee Bean on the left-hand side here, if you clicked on that ad in the first picture, it would drive you to a location finder so you can see where is the closest location. Or if you only have one location, you can drive them to a page that says the address and click a button to get directions. So this doesn't only have to be for online businesses, it works for physical businesses too. So this is the fun part. How do you do this if you don't have images and videos and you don't have the budget to do it? So the images you see here are all AI generated. These people don't exist. None of these images were ever taken in real life. We built these with AI and they look super, super realistic. And sometimes they're better than the images we can get from, the brands we work with. And so what we did here is we used Midjourney, which is an AI tool, to create the models. And you can tell them, you know what, I want a female model, I want an Asian model, I want any demographic you could think of, you could prompt the AI, you can kind of refine it over, an hour of prompting it to make it exactly the direction you want. And then we then put this into design tools like Canva or Photoshop or any design tool you want, Figma, and we added the text on it. You can even put this into just Instagram and add the text there if that's where, you feel like the most comfortable. So, a year ago, if you guys were complaining about creative, I say I understand where you're coming from. Now there's no excuses. AI can help you make all the images. And this is for a local business in the Los Angeles area that we're working with that's promoting their med spa. Um, and you can also take these images and put it into other tools to make these into videos as well. So we actually took a lot of these images and we put it in this tool called VEO, VEO from Google. And it took these models and actually made them move around and blink and made them like videos. And so you can also do video creative. It doesn't just have to be static ads. Same thing here. These ads, we went a little bit more fun as opposed to more serious with the other ads. This is for a attorney that's focused on lemon law. And we decided to come up with creatives that just really stood out, that would get you to stop and be like, whoa, like, why is there a guy jumping out of a car with money in his hand? Things that just, again, would be very difficult to pull off if you didn't have AI. And then again, you could throw these into Canva or any other tool and add the text on top of them. And you really can get super creative. Anything you guys want to come up with, the AI tools can help you come up with. So I put a couple examples of how we actually made these come to life with AI and the prompts we used. So the first example here is if you guys are familiar with the Century City Mall in Los Angeles, there's a new sushi restaurant opening there called Katsuya. And we wanted to come up with a couple of concepts to pitch them on of what to do with our marketing. And if you see here, the prompt I literally spent 10 minutes on this and only 2 messages I sent to the AI and it got me this really cool image. I said, there's a new restaurant opening in Century City Mall. I put the link with the information, with the Instagram account, with the map, and I gave it a really funny prompt. I said, you are the most awarded creative director in the world at the best creative ad agency in the world. Show me a photorealistic activation at Century City Mall to promote the opening of this new business. And it came up with this really cool concept of creating a huge piece of sushi in the middle of the mall. And then we were able to show this to Katsuya and see, if they like the idea or not. So this again really just took 10 minutes, took a little bit of prompting, a couple links to give it context, and then it came up with something amazing. The second image here, I think is even more impressive, is one of our clients had a picture of a suit on a white background. To be honest, the image wasn't great. The suit was a little bit wrinkled. It didn't look fantastic. And I'm like, we'll never be able to sell the suit this way. We need to make it nice. And so all I said was make a photorealistic ad of a model that's walking in a wedding hall with this suit on. And again, 30 seconds later, ChatGPT generated this model wearing the exact suit. And we were able to take this and then run it as an advertisement. We added some, text on it to promote the suit, and that was it. And then last but not least, another one of our clients, which is Steak and Shake, a big fast food chain restaurant around the country. They were launching beef tallow French fries as opposed to using like seed oils. We wanted to just come up with a couple concepts to show them really quickly. And, ChatGPT generated this in, again, 30 seconds by just giving it a little bit of a prompt. So I want to stop here for a second and just see if there's any questions about using AI to come up with images, to come up with text, come up with videos. Did anyone have any questions about that? Are you guys clear with like kind of how to approach this? Because I think this could be very, very helpful for your businesses. I can't hear you if you're speaking. I still can't hear on my side. I will answer the questions in the chat really quickly. Do you only use ChatGPT? No. ChatGPT is the example I used here, but if you look at the first images here that are like really, really high quality models, That was this platform called Midjourney, and I'll just kind of Google it really quickly so you guys can see what it looks like. Midjourney is a really, really great platform, super easy to use. I highly recommend it. I will put that in the chat right now. And then there's another platform called VEO, which I want to just share with you guys too. And VEO is Google's video platform. I highly recommend using that as well for videos. And then there's one other platform which is owned by ChatGPT, which is called Sora. And I highly recommend checking them out for videos too. It's pretty amazing. Okay, let me go back to the questions here. No problem, Arlene. We will let attendees unmute and ask questions at the end. Okay, great. I can't hear you speaking yet, but no problem. We can unmute people at the end for more questions. Okay, awesome. So we spoke about some of the AI ads. Okay, it's not just me. Thanks, Arlene, for confirming that. In terms of metrics, I think everyone in here is a business owner or some kind of business representative. So the number one thing we all care about is what is our ROI? We put in money into advertisements, how much money are we making? If that's not profitable or if that equation doesn't make sense, we need to redo our ads. So the way that we help people think about their ROI is with a few different metrics that I want you guys to be familiar with. And these metrics will help you understand, are we doing well or are we doing poorly? So the first metric, if you guys start to do your own research around ads, that you will see as a metric you could see in the ads, you'll see other people talk about it in YouTube videos. If you guys watch videos about how to run ads, is return on ad spend. A lot of times people will say the word ROAS. Yes, Gemini is also very good. We don't use Gemini for images, but we use it for text. So I just saw that question, but yeah, Gemini is very good. In terms of the metrics, ROAS is probably the most important metric that you guys can track. It stands for revenue divided by your advertising cost. So in the industry, we call it ROAS. As business owners, we call it return on investment or ROI. That's the number one thing you guys should look at when you're running your ads, making sure that this makes a lot of sense and that you're happy with the ROAS, because certain businesses, they need to see, for example, a 4x. So 4 times what they spend on ads, they see in revenue for them to be profitable. Sometimes businesses only need a 2 return on ad spend because of their margins, because of the way that they think about the business. Some businesses are repeat businesses. People come back frequently. Some businesses, they make a purchase once a year. So the return on ad spend needs to be higher. So this is the most important metric to look at. The second metric to look at is the cost to acquire a customer. A lot of times you'll see this called CAC or CAC. And so you want to know, to get a customer, are we spending 20 bucks, 30 bucks, 50 bucks, 100 bucks? How much does it cost us to acquire a customer? And does it change over time? Does it get more expensive or less expensive as we spend more money on ads? The next metric we want to look at is just like, what is the total revenue that Facebook and Instagram is bringing in for us? So you, again, as a business owner, can see, is this an important business marketing channel for you or not? As you're looking at your metrics, you also want to know how many people come to your website or your business by channel. So how many come from Facebook and Instagram? How many come from Google? How many come from any other channel you're doing, so you know where to invest your dollars? I'm going to skip the search engine one because we'll talk about that on our next call. But the next one is very important, which is something that we call thumb stop ratio, or we call hook rate. And what this is it's a video metric. And if you want to know if your videos are doing well or not doing well, and this applies to organic or for ads, you want to know what percentage of people stop to watch your video. And the metric that everyone in the industry uses is, do more than 30% of people watch more than 3 seconds of your video. So if 30% of people watch more than 3 seconds of your video, it's a very good video. If less than 30% of people watch more than 3 seconds of your video, the video is probably not good enough and you need to come up with new ads. This is a cheat code to figuring out if your ads are going to do well. A lot of people spend a lot of money to try to see what is my cost to acquire customers, what's my return on ad spend. But even before then, very quickly, you can see, do people watch the video or do they not watch the video? So you can determine if it's going to be a good ad or a bad ad. Going back to the questions for a second. The question was about the copyright issues using AI to create images. Okay, great question. Generally speaking, most of the AI platforms do not have any issues with you running their ads, running their images or videos as ads. They are completely fine and they kind of like give you the rights to everything you create. It depends on the AI platform, but generally speaking, it's completely fine. But there are some rules and regulations around any kind of advertising, regardless of if it's AI or not AI, of telling people this is a real customer or this is an actor or this is AI. And so that's just something to keep in mind that you might want to disclose that kind of stuff, just like you see in TV ads, like this is a actor or these are not real results or these are real people. So there are some disclaimers and there's a lot of rules that the FTC has put out there, which I recommend you guys look up. And also, you guys can just ask the AIs those questions and they'll tell you. So I know sometimes looking up rules and regulations are annoying, but if you ask Gemini, if you ask ChatGPT, it will summarize the rules and regulations for you guys, and then you guys can apply that to your ads. And then the last thing I just wanted to leave you guys with in terms of ads is ads don't start working overnight, to be honest. It takes time. And I don't want you guys to be discouraged if you guys turn on ads and you don't see the results right away. Normally speaking, it takes a couple months for ads to go in the learning phase on Facebook and Instagram, get enough data, and then move out of the learning phase to like a stabilize ad. That could happen in less than 3 months, but usually I tell people 3 months of testing images, testing copy, testing different audiences, spending enough money to get enough data is kind of like what we tend to see. And so again, if you start ads and in a couple of weeks don't see the results you're looking for, don't get discouraged. It takes time, it takes testing, and that's very normal, even for experts in the industry. So I just throw up my contact information here. If anyone has any, questions, you guys can always email me or add me on LinkedIn. But if you guys want to turn on the audios for people to ask questions, I'm happy to take questions now, and I can also go back and forth in the slides. We still can't hear you, unfortunately. Okay, so Keisha sent a Q&A. I just saw that. She said, I would like to drop my own photo in AI and use it for my ads. Yeah, you could definitely do that. We do that all the time. We take, images of ourselves or videos of ourselves and put them into ChatGPT, and you could even tell it to like change something about you, like the outfit you're wearing, the background behind you. So I recommend you do that. It's very, very effective. You just have to see which AI works the best for that specifically. Sometimes you find more success with one AI than the other, but I highly recommend you put in your own photos and enhance them. And that's really what we did, again, with some of these here. Like the second one here, we put in an image without a model. We just put in the suit and then we had to change the background, all that. But you can even put your own picture with your face in it and it can update things for you too.
Thank you. I got it. Thank you.
Yes, hi. I would like to know if we can get a copy of the slide presentation emailed after the webinar ends in a day or so.
Yeah, I'm going to share it with the PACE team, and I think that they'll email it out to everyone who RSVP'd.
Okay, one other question. If you're using Squarespace, how can you integrate AI in it unless the platform has AI in it? So you can't really take Google Copilot, Microsoft Copilot or Google Gemini or anything else into Squarespace. That means that Squarespace, the platform that you're hosting your website on, has to have it, right?
There's some platforms that have like AI tools baked into them, but most don't. And I think what you're describing with Squarespace doesn't have it makes a lot of sense. But what you could do is you could always go into ChatGPT or Gemini's own websites, ask it for text, ask it for images, download them, and then just put them on your own website. There's also
Okay.
like third-party tools that you could add. Like just as an example, one thing that a lot of business owners struggle with is customer service, getting back to people quickly. There are third-party tools that you could add to your website as a little pop-up that are powered by AI. So that if someone asks a question, the AI can try to answer it before you answer it as a business owner or your team answers it. So there's a lot of different ways to leverage AI on your website. But again, I would just go to ChatGPT, Gemini, ask it for whatever you're looking for, and then copy and paste it, download it, and put it on your site.
Thank you so much. So the presentation will be available in 24 hours when you send it, or by Friday?
I will defer to the PACE team, but I think she said in the chat we will share the presentation. I'm not sure what the timeline looks like, but I'm sure it'll be quick.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks for the question. Layla, I
Hi.
see your question in the chat. I'll just answer that really quickly and then I'll get to the next person. Can we also think about ROAS as revenue over marketing spend instead of just ads? Is there a resource to compare healthy ROAS based on industry? Wow, that's a really good question. So the first part of the question, revenue over marketing spend instead of just ads, we call it something a little bit differently. We call it MER usually, which is marketing efficiency ratio. And I'm just going to try to Google that to see if it pops up here for you. But marketing efficiency ratio is the metric I think you're looking for, which is like, what is your total revenue divided by anything you do in the marketing lens? And there's no like perfect answer for what your MER should be, but I think as a business owner, you'll have your own answer again of like, what should be my MER to be profitable and to grow the business? And very naturally, the more you spend on marketing, the lower your MER goes, the lower your ROAS goes, but the more growth you get. And there's kind of like a balance you have to play as a business owner to kind of choose where you want to be and what you're okay with. And it's also seasonal, right? Like during Black Friday, your MER might skyrocket because there's high intent to shop. And then in January, it might go down significantly because people are already shopped out. So that's the way I would think about part one of your question. In terms of part two of your question, I don't have a great resource to think about ROAS by industry. I am sure that there are tools out there or websites out there that have it by industry. And I'm sure like you could also ask Gemini there. But one thing I would say is what you can think about is, are you in a business that is a CPG business that has like a high repeat rate of purchases? Or are you in a business that people buy less frequently? And so just to give you an idea of the way I think about this, if I'm selling skincare or if I'm selling maybe even like a med spa services where people come back like every quarter or more frequently, then I don't care if my ROAS is on the lower side. I'm okay with being at like a 2 return on ad spend because I know that someone is going to come back in 3 months and buy more skincare or to get more Botox or whatever it is. And I'm going to be very profitable on the next order, on the next servicing. Whereas if I'm selling, for example, clothing, maybe someone's not going to come back to buy clothing for my business again for a year. Like that's very possible. They buy jeans once a year or twice a year. And so I want my return on ad spend to be closer to like a 4 so that I am profitable on the first purchase. So again, there's a lot of different factors, industry, how profitable do you want to be, how much growth you want to have, but that's the way I would think about it. And then just looking at what you wrote here, ROAS is just for the particular ad spend and revenue from that specific ad campaign. You could, yeah, the way I look at ROAS is I look at it by a specific channel. So I look at how much revenue did I derive from Facebook ads and how much money did I spend on Facebook ads. Then I look at how much revenue did I get from Google ads and how much money did I spend on Google ads. and I look at ROAS by channel, and then I look at marketing efficiency ratio, my total revenue as a business, my total ad spend from every channel. So I get both different lenses from that perspective.
Hi, Jordan.
Janice, yeah, go for it.
I have two questions for you. Jordan, do you offer classes at your office for people that are beginners? Because I would love to come down and see, because I learn better by seeing. So if I can see you do it and I can write down the steps, I can do it from then on.
Yeah, that's a great question. We don't offer any classes yet. This is like the first time we're trying this with the PACE team. We do have, I think, 3 more sessions lined up. So I think what I'll do for the next session is I will, besides for showing the deck, I might actually do an interactive session where we can all open up Google Ads together. We can all open up ChatGPT together and try it live. So that's really good feedback. I'll try that on the next session next Wednesday and see if that helps us get closer to the answer.
Thank you. And my second question is, you told me to drop my photo into ChatGPT. Is it the free version or the paid version of ChatGPT?
That's a great question. We have the paid version that is like the cheaper paid version. I think it's like $20 a month. I am sure the free version has some tools too, but they might limit how many requests you can make. Whereas on the paid version, we don't really have a limit. They let us do as many requests as we want. But you can always try with the free ones, and if they don't work to your, your liking, then maybe you upgrade to the one that we have, which is $20 a month.
Thank you.
Did someone else want to unmute to speak? Okay, I will take Layla's question in the channel unless someone else wants, or Arlene's question, and then whoever else wants to chat. Can you just run your ads for free on Instagram and Facebook? No. So you could post organically on Facebook and Instagram. Obviously, like anyone can post on their Instagram and Facebook, but to run ads, you do have to spend money. And you would have to put like some kind of budget behind that, whether that's as low as $10 a day, or, we have some clients that spend thousands of dollars a day. It just depends on, your goals and your budgets. Was that Janice trying to make a comment?
All right. I got my little impatience and that's good, right?
Okay. Next up, Layla asked, thank you. We own soccer shots, Joyful Foundation Soccer for children 2 to 8 years old. Coaches teach soccer across parks and schools from Santa Monica to San Dimas. We don't provide a product, so I'm curious about your strategy around service and programs. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you on this call have a service business as opposed to just a product business. On the Facebook and Instagram side specifically, it still works really well. So what I would do in this specific example that you're describing is you can actually target parents on Facebook and Instagram. And this is the craziest thing. You can target parents of children of a certain age group. So you can actually say, Facebook and Instagram, I want to target people who have kids between the ages of 1 to 4 years old and like 5 to 8 years old, and then 9 to 12. They have different buckets. So that's where I would start in terms of the targeting, Layla. I would start with targeting the parents of the right age. And then you can also target by zip code. You could target by DMA. You could target by a radius. So I think you could get very, very specific in targeting the right people. And what I would say is, once you put those parameters of the location, the age group you're targeting, I would really just focus on the videos and images, because Facebook and Instagram these days is all about having strong creative. And so just coming up with different ways to talk about, the coaches and why they're so great and the pricing of the program and how it works, I think, between all that, you would come up with a very strong campaign. We are going to talk about Google and SEO in a couple weeks, but just to give you a little bit of like a sneak peek of what I would do on the Google side if I was in your business. So if you don't have this yet, let's see if we can find it. Let's do soccer program near me. There is this thing called the Google business listing, which you could see here. And if you notice, these businesses come up even before the organic Google stuff. And so if you don't have a Google business profile yet, I would definitely set one up. I would definitely spend some time putting nice images of the program, connecting all your times, your hours, your website, and then trying to get reviews from past customers and friends and family, and trying to show up here because this is such low-hanging fruit. Google's promoting local businesses here. This is actually free to be here. So that's another thing I would do for soccer shots if I was in your shoes. Dree asked, do you recommend doing follower campaigns to build your audience before running ads? That's a great question. I think that it's important to have a decent amount of followers because you don't want to have, an account that only has like 5 to 10 followers when you're running ads. But if you have like hundreds or thousands of followers, you're good enough. And over time, as you run ads, even to run like ads for your services, you will get more followers because people are interested. They want to stay up to date. So more important than having followers is, I would say, having like a grid that looks decent, that has good images, that has good videos, that shows people you guys are active and the business is like an interesting business, a professional. But as long as you have like a few hundred or like a few thousand followers, I wouldn't sweat it too much to get more followers from a follower campaign. I would really focus my dollars on trying to get people to purchase products or your services. And I would spend, if I had a limited budget, more money on that piece than getting followers. Layla said, we have a Google business profile with over 50 5-star reviews. That's great. And it physically hurts that we don't pop up first on that list. Well, there could be a lot of different reasons you don't show up on this list. It could be the service area you guys have set up. You guys could also just promote your Google listing to also make sure you guys show up more often. But let's see, just because we have a little bit of time, if you show up when I scroll here a little bit more. No, okay, so let me just see if I type in your business name, what happens. But maybe there's some pointers I can give you guys. And if anyone else wants to put their business name in here, I'm happy to look at it. Okay, Soccer Shops, Los Angeles North. I'm assuming this is you, Layla. So the first thing that I see as something I would update is I would add a dash after the name of your business, and then I would write some keyword that makes sense. So what I typed in originally, I think was like soccer program or soccer youth program or something like that. So after the name of your business, Soccer Shots Los Angeles North, I would do dash soccer kids program or kids soccer program. And then you're adding a keyword into the name of your business that helps you show up more often. The images look great. You have great reviews. The other thing I recommend is making sure that you add more updates. I see the last update you have here is from September. I would recommend maybe like once every couple of weeks adding updates on Google. And if you do a small kind of adjustment, like I mentioned, you will start to show up more often for sure. So those are some easy wins. And just to give you an idea of how this looks, I want to show you guys like a real business that we worked on. I don't know if we have any brokers in the house, but Los Angeles multifamily broker. You will see that this number 2 listing is our clients right here. And their business just used to say the Jordan Group. That was the name of their business. You'll see that we put the name multifamily real estate broker inside of the name. And now he's showing up either number 1 or number 2 every single time someone looks for a multifamily broker in the Los Angeles area. So Layla, I think that small adjustment will help a lot with your business. Let's look at Mission Control Productions from Arlene. Let's see if there's anything we can look at there. Okay, great. So it looks like you are showing up for your name. I would definitely recommend getting some more reviews and very similar feedback here. I would maybe drop off the ink at the end of this and just add a dash and talk about what your business actually does. So it looks like you guys provide a lot of different services, and I would try to summarize that with a couple keywords here. But definitely get more reviews and pictures. I don't think that this does justice to your business. I think if I went to your website, you probably have better images here and on your Instagram, and I would recommend adding those into your listing here too. Yeah, I mean, you guys have such great images here. If this is your business, I would add all of these into your Google profile when people look you up. Winter Grace sugar-free chocolates. Okay, let's look that up. No problem, Marlene. Happy to help. Okay, so let's look at your Instagram account here. We sell sugar-free, gluten-free, nut-free chocolates for those with diabetes. Okay, awesome. So on a side note, I believe Keisha just sent this. My sister's a pastry chef, so I have a little bit of experience in the space.
I'm
But I
just
recommend,
starting. I haven't started yet. I launched on Black Friday, but I just have my accomplishments because I've been in like 40 boot camps, right?
yeah, that's great. I think you definitely want to highlight the fact that you've kind of gotten all these certificates. This looks great. I think the next step is just getting a lot of images and videos of your products.
Okay.
Um,
Yes.
especially videos, because videos tend to go viral on Instagram
Okay.
and a lot more people can see your content. When you post an
Okay.
image, only your followers can see it. But when you
Okay.
post a video or when you post a carousel, a lot more
Yes.
people can see it. And that's
Okay.
how you see businesses get thousands and thousands of views and millions of views. And I think on the website side, this looks great.
Thank you.
And I would recommend maybe just
Yes.
highlighting some more of the products on the homepage.
Okay.
And if I was in your shoes and I was running ads, I would probably run ads to the actual product pages or the collection page to
Okay.
get those orders. But yeah, I mean, I think you're off to a great start, and you by the time Black
Thank
Friday starts, you
you.
have another month to get a lot more going from this perspective.
Thank you.
No problem. Behavioral health company, Resilient Mind Institute. Let's look that up. Okay, cool. So it looks like you have your GMB, Elham. So I would definitely recommend asking friends and family and customers for some more reviews and adding images like I mentioned. And same comment here, add a dash or a pipe here, and then add in the fact that you guys focus on psychiatric mental health and anything else that you guys are focused on here. I will show you guys an example of a company that we work with in a similar space. It's not exactly the same, but just to give an idea. This is a Los Angeles-based company. Let me see, maybe I should type in LA just because it's a name of a show also. Okay, perfect. So as you can see here, we wrote therapy for mothers so that it's very obvious when someone's searching therapies for mothers, they come up, and they're a brand new business. They launched, I think, 3 weeks ago, so they don't have a lot of reviews either. And so we're trying to help them as they get clients send out automated emails and text messages to ask their new clients for reviews. We put images, and then also updates. This is a very underrated part of Google where you can actually put updates from your website of new articles you guys have written, anything that's happening at your company. You'll see that we put one a couple weeks ago for them. And that's another way to start showing up more often. I'm just going to go back to your business one more time, Ilham, to see the website also. Great. I mean, the site looks great. I think from that perspective, you're in a really good spot. You have a really big call to action. And let's check out your social media if it's linked here. I don't see it at the bottom. Let's see if there's an Instagram account that pops up. No social media yet. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I think eventually maybe some, if you want to run ads on Instagram and Facebook, you'll have to create an Instagram account, get some good images and videos up there. But yeah, I mean, you're off to a great start. You're doing a lot more than, people who've just started. So just, add a couple more things on your local business. The other thing you're missing is there's a services section you can add inside of here. I can't show it to you from the outside, but when you're editing your profile, you can add in all your services. And so just take everything from this link you have on your website and add it as services, and that'll help a lot too. Next up, we have Eric Photos. Eric Abraham Photos, got it. Let me look that up. Okay, cool. By the way, this is a great idea whenever you guys are running any of your own websites to have a pop-up to get someone to join your mailing list. This is very, very important to get people to sign up for your email list. The one note I'll make here, Erica, is it's a little bit hard to read some of this white text on like a black and white photo here. So you might want to change the text color. You might want to change the background photo to be something that has a little bit more dark contrast against the white to make it easier for people to look at. And then let's see what we have here. If I was running ads, I'd probably direct them to the services page. So they right away know your pricing, what different services you have. And then let's look at if you show up on Google, Erica, B photos. Okay, so I don't know if you have a Google business listing yet, Erica. If you don't, I highly recommend it, because what you're gonna want is people, when they look up your name, to see that and see your reviews. But also you're gonna want people who, let's say you are doing branding and portrait photography. I Google this and I type near me. Let's see what comes up. See all these studios show up, and you want to be a part of this list here. So I highly recommend doing that. The nice thing about your business, Erica, specifically, is you're in the photography business. You probably have a lot of great images and videos and things like that. And so you could use a lot of these great images for your ads on Facebook and Instagram. So you can target people in the Los Angeles area. You could add some text on here that says like personal branding, photography, and you could probably have a lot of success because you already have great creative. You don't really have to worry about that piece. You do have a business account. Okay, maybe send that to the messenger. I couldn't find it when I quickly looked. Arlene said, how do you edit your Google page? Great question. So let me show you how I edit mine, and then you guys can see how we do it. So usually if you have created a Google My Business listing, if you type in your own business name, my business name is IceBob. You would type in your own business name. If you're logged into the right Google account, you will see that now you have this like behind the scenes action that says your business is on Google. And then there's all these different settings that I get from my business. So I can click on edit profile, and then I can come in here and add in my business categories, add a description, my time, like any info I need, I could add in here. So Arlene, if you are the owner of your business account and you're logged into the right Google account, it'll show up for you here. If you don't have one yet, you can always go in and say Google listing business, and you can click on this right here that says get listed on Google, and you can set up one from scratch if you don't have one yet. So I'll just share that with everyone. Seriously, if you run a local business and you don't have this, please set this up. It's like so easy to set up. Google wants to help local businesses. So set this up. Don't wait on that. Okay. Next up, we had Dree Patterson, I believe. Nonprofit Canoga Park Improvement Association. And Million haven't touched the Google business profile. We don't sell anything, but we promote our events. My question is, since I came into this job years after it was started, what info would I need to get into the Google business profile? Great, I was just talking about that. So you usually have a person who has set up this profile with a Google account. You can only edit this if you're logged into the Google account. So you need to figure out who is the owner that set that up, and then they can add you. And I just want to show you guys this because it's a little bit tricky. There's these 3 dots in the top right corner. Whoever has access to the account can click on this and click on business profile settings, and then people and access. And then you can add anyone else, any of your colleagues, any other person that's working at the company. Again, I want to highlight this because it's very, very small and tricky. You have to click on these 3 dots right here. And then when you click on that business profile settings, and then people and access. So that's the way you would get access to it. And let's just type in your business name to see what that looks like. And by the way, for Dree, for you, like I understand you want to promote your events and things of that nature. What I would do is I would definitely focus on the Facebook and Instagram ads, because you can run ads around your area with zip code targeting, and you can run those Facebook ads to a landing page on the website where it says like sign up for our events. And then you, I think, are probably in the business of growing the email list so people can be on your email list to find out about your events. Well, you can, I don't know if I'm on the right website or not, but you can also drive them to your events page so they can see the events there. But if I was in your suit, I would try to increase your social media and increase your email list. Oh, cool. That was the website. So yeah, I would try to drive them to a page on this website to, you know, sign up for your email list and then also to see these events. And you can do exactly what Erica had, which is drive them to this page and have a sign up pop up, or maybe at the top you say sign up to find out about our events. So that is what I would do. In terms of your question about could Google have set this up? I don't think so. I think you actually, as a business or a nonprofit, have to set this up. I don't think that Google sets these up by themselves. So if you don't have access to it, I would try to figure out if Google can give you access. If not, you might have to like report this and try to create a new one. If this is yours, can go to Park Improvement Association. The good thing is it only has one review, so even if you have to restart, like it's not a big deal. Oh, actually, I'm seeing this button right here. So Dree, you might be able to click on this and say, suggest an edit, own this business, and go through this flow of showing them that you're the business owner. It looks like you can request access if you don't have access anymore. So that is exactly what I would recommend doing. Yeah, no problem. I'm glad that helped. Let me see what the next question is. Jordan, you have so helpful. Are you hosting the next 3 webinars? Arlen, thank you so much for the compliment. Yes, I am hosting the next 3 webinars. So you will see me on the camera again for the next 3 weeks. Next up, if you have many locations, how do you feature your locations on your Google business page more prominently? Is there an option beyond service locations? That's a great question, Layla. There is not a better way of approaching it. What a lot of businesses do is they actually create more than one location page, which, you know, I think sometimes makes sense, sometimes doesn't make sense. It's very like business dependent. So just to give you an idea, let's look up a chain like Relax the Back. So do you see how they have different listings here, Layla? They have one for Studio City. They have one here for Santa Monica. They have one here for Pasadena. That's probably what I would do if I was running like a chain business. I would set up different locations. And maybe you could even in the header put the name of the location if you wanted to, or you could do it like this. The nice thing about this is that you get more locations, you show up more often, but the frustrating part about this is that each one will get their own reviews. And so, you know, it's a lot more work to maintain 3 different ones or 2 different ones. Yes, like this example I'm showing you here, these are 3 different pages. So you would have 3 different listings, a lot more management, but again, sometimes it makes sense if you're like a chain like that. If I missed anyone's business, feel free to throw it in. I think I did miss one. Santos sent a business also. Let me just go back to that really quickly.
Mr. C, Southern Style. Mr. C, Southern Style barbecue sauce.
Can you send that inside the channel? I'm going to look at Santos's really quickly. It says, do you have a small business senior discount for your services? I'm trying to revamp my business, diversify inventory, therefore would prefer to outsource ad when I'm done. Yeah, we do have a local business offering that is much cheaper than our normal service, and we're extending that and at a little bit of a discount to Pace. You know, people who come to Pace talks and Pace members and things of that nature. I am happy to follow up with you over email if you email me, or you know, you can reach out to me from the form on our website and we can chat with you about that. Next was Mr. C's Southern Style Barbecue Sauce. Let me look at that.
Sorry, Jordan, you can hear me now, yes?
Yes, I can hear you now. Perfect.
Okay, I am dialing in through phone. I don't know if the audience can hear me. like I got the message that only the panelists, they can hear me. So I don't know what the problem is, but anyways,
No
I'm
problem.
glad
I
that
can
you were
hear you.
able to address. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so for Mr. C Southern Style, it sounds like you're trying to sell these products online from what I can tell. First of all, when I click on the all products page, it looks like it's timed out. It's not working. So I would comb through the website, make sure it's working. If I was in your shoes, I would transition any e-commerce businesses to Shopify. I personally think it's better than if this is Squarespace or whatever platform this is on. Shopify tends to be a little bit better. But what I would recommend if I was in your
I didn't do Shopify because the fees are expensive every month for the website. I haven't launched the business. I'm just launching it for the first time, so I'm starting small, and then I want to scale to Shopify. But right now, I haven't even launched it yet. So
Got it. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely start on the platform and scale later. What I would like
okay,
to show you is a really cool platform. I'm going to send this link in the channel because I think it actually can help a lot of people here. This is an amazing tool that Facebook has put out for everyone. It's called the Facebook Ad Library. And what you can do is you can actually look up any business that is running ads on Facebook and see which ads they're running. So when you ask me, for example, about, Mr. C's, um, how would I advertise that? If I was in your shoes, what I would do is I would look up other people that sell seasoning, other people that sell sauces, condiments, whatever it is, and see what ads they're running. Just as an example, I'm just going to pull up a website I was looking at recently, BarkBox, their subscription box for dogs. This is every single ad that they're running on Instagram and Facebook. And I could just zoom in, say, oh, wow, that's a really cool idea. Screenshot this, use AI, remake it for my product, and then run this ad. So what I would recommend is finding other businesses that are in your category, looking up their ads, getting some inspiration. And that is a great place to start if you don't know how to, start with your ads. Next question I saw was,
okay, thank
do you
you.
need, my pleasure. Layla said, do you need different Gmail accounts? No, you don't need different Gmail accounts to set up more than one business account. I have, like 30 businesses associated with mine, so you don't need different Gmail accounts. Dr. Claudia Mondragon, let's look up. I'm assuming that's an Instagram handle that you're sending me. Let's look that up. Awesome. So yeah, what I would first recommend is, like I mentioned before, if you want your Instagram following to increase, if you want more people to see your content, it's really all about carousels and videos. So each of these topics here, like this looks like super informative, Dr. Claudia. What I would do is I would make a video about this. I would do a green screen video where this is behind you. You're talking about all the information on this and explaining it to people so that a ton of people see it. They go, wow, Dr. Claudia really knows her stuff. And then it kind of goes organically viral. And I'll show you an example of like exactly what I'm talking about from my own business. I'm just going to pull up this video for you. This is an example of a video that I did as a green screen where you can see I put an image in the back. I'm talking about trends. I'm explaining things to people. And if you look at the number of people that saw that video, just to give you an example, that video was seen by 4,662 people. And a bunch of people reached out to me. And I don't have that many followers. I guess now I do, it's grown a lot, but in general, these videos can be seen by a lot more people than the number of people that follow you. And so that's where I would start on the social media side for your business, Dr. Claudia. In terms of the website and the other components, so let's go back. I definitely think your website could feel a little bit more modern. And so like, again, with some AI, you can get some maybe even better images, maybe even like work on enhancing some of this a little bit. But what I would do is I would also just kind of go to that Google component here and see what happens when someone Googles your name. And so it looks like you have a Google profile, which is great. there's not a lot of photos from what I can tell. So I would increase the photos and not just have your logo, pictures of you professionally, pictures of what you do. And then I'd also focus on getting reviews so that, you know, people know what you're capable of doing. And then I would also talk about like adding a description on your website so you show up. From what I can tell at a quick glance, you're helping with a lot of different areas like weight loss and hormones. And so you should include those in the description of your account up here. So again, when someone's looking for exactly what you do, you show up. Dr. Claudia, we work with a lot of medical businesses, so you know, feel free to reach out to me and you know, ask me for some more advice over email. But just so you see, like we work with, you know, a ton of doctors on their accounts, ads for them, promoting anything and everything. So, you know, feel free to reach out and I can send you this link and maybe you can get some cool ideas from this page that we have on our website.
Mr. Jordan, you told me that
Yes.
something on my Mr. C's account timed out. What was that timed out?
When I went to your website and I clicked on the shopping button, let
Mm-hmm.
me pull that up one more time. When I clicked on the go to shop,
Sure.
oh, I guess it's working now, but when I first clicked on it, it said it timed out. So
Okay.
I'm not really sure what happened there, but maybe it's just something to
Okay.
investigate. It looks like it's work. Oh, here,
Oh,
you see how
look.
it says timeout?
That's under shop?
Yes,
So that means I need to go back in there and republish. Just kind of refresh it.
potentially. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why it's happening. But
Okay.
before you send traffic to the website, I would definitely try to get this fixed before, you know, spending
Okay.
any
I
money there.
will. Thank you.
My pleasure. We had a question
Jordan,
from Jari. Yeah, sorry.
no, I just want to say that we are like, 15 minutes over I am okay with that, but still, I'm just sending a message to everyone that they can, work on this. If any question, next session, we can address the questions. But again, I'm still okay. I don't want to take your time.
Yeah, let's do the last question or two that I see here from Jari, and then we can call it there. And again, I'll be here next week. You guys can continue to ask me questions. You have my email, so I'm a resource for all of you. So Jari said, I know you said you usually take about 3 months of testing. We have a weekly event we like to promote, so I guess we can start that anytime. But for a yearly event like a festival in November, when is the best time to start testing ads and telling people about this event? Okay, great question. So what I mean by like testing is your account at a high level takes time to see who are your customers, who are the best people to target. So even though you have weekly events or like monthly events or events that are later on in the year, just running those weekly events and seeing what the data looks like and finding good customers will help Meta get better. And you as a marketer will understand these kind of flyers and images do better, or these videos do better, and you'll get better so that after 3 months, you'll be in a really great place. In terms of promoting an event, like something that's in November, that's really up to you how much in advance you want to promote it and how many people you want at the event and things of that nature. But I would say at a minimum, you start promoting it a month in advance, if not even earlier, because you want people to sign up. You want people to see it more than once. If you get a ton of signups, you can email them to remind them about the event. So kind of like the sooner the better. But it also depends on your capacity and how many people you want there and how much info you have ready to promote about the event. But I would normally say a month in advance if it's like a really, really big event. Okay, great. So I think we're going to stop there. Like I mentioned, we'll share these slides and then we'll have new slides for next week. And we'll try to jump into the platforms next week so we can actually like edit things together and have a little bit more of an interactive course. But thank you all for the great questions. It was amazing to see all the great questions. Hopefully I answered some of them. And I'll pass it back to you, Vartuli, if you want to close this out.
I think they are not hearing me, so you
Okay.
are the only person who can hear me. So I'm just putting it in the workshop and sorry, the chat box. You just please go ahead and do the closing. I don't know what's
No problem.
wrong. I had to dial in. Oh, they say they can hear me. Thank you so much for confirming. Okay,
Perfect.
I want to say thank you, Jordan. It was great. I love this session. The fact that we have this interaction with the with the audience. It was really great. I am pretty sure our audience enjoys your presentation. From the comments I see, that's obvious. So I sent a message just work on this, put your questions, there, and next week we can address more questions. I think you will have enough time to work on that. And if you have any question, you can come back and ask your question. And just want to say thank you again. Appreciate Jordan, your time, and appreciate you guys attending this session. Looking forward to see you all next week, and wishing you will have a great rest of the day. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
My pleasure. Thanks, everyone.